Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and there's also a PayPal link in the info box below the video. Most importantly though, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by the Plain Truth, Sleeping Warrior, Jose and Arwin. Good to have you all.
Good afternoon.
Hello. What?
Hello. So any signs of curvature? Let's get the housekeeping done.
Nope.
No, none. Any signs of axial rotation?
No.
Not even of the Earth-based variety.
Excellent. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
There's definitely no distance to the sun.
Exactly.
Nope.
There's no measuring tape long enough to measure the distance.
And all the mathematics is based on assumptions.
Right. The sun has no position. It only has an angle.
Yeah, if there was an actual
position.
object, if there was an actual physical sun, there's no measuring tape long enough to reach it.
Cool. Any evidence that you can have a gas pressure without a container?
Definitely no evidence for that.
Never.
Everybody seems to believe it though, Nathan. Have you noticed that when you challenge any of the ballers on that one point, right, they all just assume that it's okay to have the gas pressure without the container? And they say, yeah, but we have a pressure gradient as we go up and all that stuff. And we're like, hang on a minute, let's stick at first base. How do we have the gas pressure without the container? Yeah, but we have the gas pressure. Yeah, right, we do. But where's the container? Well, we don't have a container. Well, how do you know that? Because we've got pictures from space. And that's what they come back with. And it's like, no, moron, that's not the answer. Show us how you can have one without having the pressure, without having the container. And
It's senseless. It's senseless because their conception of gravity cannot actually theoretically in their model work to do as they imagine. It's a complete fantasy.
Excellent.
Maybe the
segue.
most
By their
dumb,
standards.
Excellent
maybe the
segue.
most dumb ones maybe mistaking this point as they say we claim we have a dome, but then the more smart ones, they invoke the dome as a straw man because they know we're not asking for, we're not telling we got a dome above. We're just saying if we breathe air, it should be contained, or is air everywhere? You know,
Yes, exactly.
But the thing is, though, my point was that they don't accept that you can't have a gas pressure without a container. They just assume and accept that it's okay. And I'm like, no, hang on a minute. Let's not assume that. Let's go back to the beginning. You have to have the container for the gas pressure, and we have gas pressure, and they just don't want to address it. And it's like, right, we can't move from this unless we can get to a meeting of minds. And we're definitely not at a meeting of minds. So come on, where's the gas pressure without the container? And they just don't want to answer it. It's embarrassing.
What about
Nathan,
scientific evidence of
100%
gravity, as you mentioned it?
Say again?
Scientific evidence of gravity.
None.
no.
No? Really?
No, there's a bunch of phenomena that could be construed together as a unified thing in theory, and that can work out as a tool, but it's not actually a coherent. It's not. You can't prove it to be a coherent thing. It's all deduction based.
That a
And
scientific
say
theory?
no.
must honestly conclude it is an aberration.
Can we not just say no and let them prove that it is?
No, sorry.
Anyway, any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Oh yeah, there's all these like these things, Nathan, that we can just assume that might be there because reasons. I'm just trying to transpose what Arwin's just said into my own language for this, and I can't actually think of a way to do it. But we'll just assume that there might be something there.
Don't worry about it. I will be repeating it for the coming months. You'll have plenty of time to let it sink in.
It's left enough weasel room. Hold on, Anthony. I feel if you listen to what Arwin actually states, he's left enough weasel room for you to be content. I think you'll find.
I'm not sure there's weasel room there, though. He's saying that there's a phenomena, and I'm like, what do you mean?
No, he's not. You're not listening. Tomorrow on the next show. No, let's not drag this out. On the next show, Arwin, repeat your statement, and Anthony, listen intently to what he actually says. Don't repeat it now, Arwin. We'll do it on the next show.
All right.
Any evidence of the R value, the Earth radius that's presupposed?
The mythical R. That mathematical tool they can never let go until they're all zombies. R.
I like the ones that don't get it. So they go, how can you have a southern rotation in the southern hemisphere? And you go, in R you trust. They go, what are you on about? They don't get it. The presupposition is so ingrained into them that they can't help but beg the question. They must beg the question. They must assume the radius is there. They must assume they're on a sphere before making any assertions about anything ever. I'm on a sphere.
Well, the way I deal with this now is to say to them, okay, the star rotation's in the south. All right. So let's work out where your antipode position is. And you say, well, what country are you in? North America, right. So underneath you, we're going to be where? So they work it out and they say, right. So once we've established that we know what your antipode position is, you're going to point to it on the horizon, right? Which way south from where you are then? And then they say, well, you get your compass out, you go, blah, 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 and then they point somewhere to the horizon. And I said, no, that's south for me. Where's south for you? And they said, what do you mean? Where's south for you, dickhead? Antipode means it's under your ass. So you've got to be pointing through the floor. And he's like, yeah, but that's just a direction to get there. Yeah, but it's not south though, is it?
Yeah, the
south
direction to get there
is through the floor.
If you assume that you're on a sphere and it's curving around and that south isn't pointing in the direction that you're actually going to end up in, it's just pointing outwards. But of course, you're travelling along a curve, right?
South on a ball is straight through the floor. Let's be clear. Shut up! Thank you.
I'm not talking.
He wasn't saying anything. Jose was being very quiet.
I was quiet, man.
He's talking to his dog.
Are those the voices talking to you again, Tony?
No, it's his dogs.
Yeah, one's got a toy and wants to play. The other one's minding his own business and doesn't want to play. So that we have a standoff.
I see.
With all the respect you deserve, Riley, I know you got something to talk about, probably about this project you're working on. I wanna get Nathan's take on the interview yesterday, because to me it was a really, really good interview. I enjoyed it very much. You flat smacked the hell out of the girl that interviewed you. She didn't even know what to ask you, because once you start coming in hard on, not hard, but answering very solid answers, she was like, oh, what do I answer? I don't want to be yelled at, you know. So what was your take on the interview? I liked it.
Yeah, she was good. Mark Sargent put me in touch. Loads of people have said, what's this deal with her and what's that deal with her? And it's like, I don't know a great deal about her. Mark Sargent put me in touch. I contacted her and said, yeah, I'm willing to do an interview if you want to do one. And that's basically it. I don't know a great deal about her. I put a bit of info in the info box, but that's all the info I had from Mark Sargent. So, like I say, I was pleased with the end result. Hopefully she was too.
And I saw it as a simple interview. You were just being you. I mean, the same way you behave or answer or talk over here. So I don't know what some people struggle or question, like hesitate on doing an interview. Because they're like, oh, what am I going to answer? What are they going to ask? Just be yourself and speak up. You know, it's my take on everything.
Hey, Josh, you hear us?
Hey.
Yeah, good to have you. Hey, Physics, how you doing?
Hey, Nathan.
Good to have you.
Hey, Josh. Josh, have you worked out how tall a 10-foot wall is when it's 20 miles away yet?
Come on, Riley. That was your job.
Have you worked it out yet? Have you realised it's not 20 foot when it's 20 miles away yet?
Definitely your job. It's, no one measures anything when it's right up to their nose.
So what was your question now? How tall is a 10-foot wall, right? That was your question, right? And I said to you at the time, it depends how far away from it you are.
And now what do you think? Have you gotten better?
My position still stands, but does your position still stand? Do you still think that a 10-foot wall, when it's, say, 10 miles away, is still actually 10 foot?
Yes, Riley. And
Yeah, so do I.
If you
Just gonna
remember
rain on
Riley.
Anthony's parade for a second.
We have
I
something
totally
called
agree with
perspective.
Josh. A 10-foot wall is always a 10-foot wall because what you're
Only
assigning to it.
orthographically, Nathan. Only orthographically.
No. Orthographically, it doesn't make any difference. If you measure it with feet and inches, it makes absolutely sod all difference how far away you away from that wall. It will always be 10 foot because that's the.
Not to the observer.
Yeah. Well, no, you're assigning a measurement to it. So instantly, it doesn't matter how far away from it. It's always 10 foot in that measuring structure. Whereas
It's subject to distance, Nathan.
let me finish. God, triggered Anthony or what? Triggered Anthony. Let me finish. So the feet and inches will never change. That is the assigned measuring system that you are talking about. So it's always going to be a 10-foot wall. The angle will change as you back away from it, but not the feet and inches. Sorry.
To the observer, it's not 10 foot anymore unless it's
Yeah, it
stuck in
is.
your nose.
Yes, it
It
is.
is 10 foot. It just
is.
appears to be smaller. It appears to be smaller, but
Correct.
it is still a 10
We have
foot.
something called perspective, Nathan. Are
Yeah.
you a moron?
Oh,
No,
no,
it
not
is
a
a
moron.
10-foot wall.
Anthony,
It just
Anthony,
A
appears.
measuring size is not an indication of its
We're wrong position.
apparent
Again.
size
If
to
you
the
give it in
observer.
feet and inches,
It's
Anthony,
just a literal height.
you give it in feet and inches, it doesn't matter the distance. That feet and inches measure will remain the same, regardless of how small the angle that you view it at will be. So it will always be a 10-foot wall, but the angle will change as you get away from it. But that's a totally different measuring structure. So as soon as you say 10 foot, it will always be 10 foot, no matter what the distance.
Nathan, you and I have just agreed for the first time in our lives.
Really? I don't know you personally. so what? That's not a big deal.
Sorry, I was just making
Hey,
sure.
Nathan, have you forgotten about me, Nathan?
Not at all. I know you are. Why would I forget you, Josh?
Oh, okay, good. I thought you forgot me for a moment. Hey, just a quick random question. I had like a really long day today, and I looked it up and I noticed I had a 14-hour day today. 14 hours of daylight. Did you guys have over there in the UK? Did you have that weird thing where the sun sets at like 5 o'clock?
Yeah. Gets dark real quick.
Gets dark real quick, right? It's real weird. And you have like these like really long nights and short days.
Yeah, that's what happens when you live on a plane.
How so, Riley? How so?
Well, because it's like my headlights on my car, right? If I flash your house in the direction of your house, you can't see them, right? Because I'm too far from you. It's called proximity. Do you not understand?
You know, Riley, I was just thinking about that actually weirdly today because down here, down on the other side of the world, the Antipode, if you recall, it's about to get really hot. And so what I started doing is I went to Bunnings, which is our version of, I don't know what it's our version of, but, you know, one of those hardware stores. And I bought all this foam foil board. And it's this styrofoam board about an inch thick, and with foil on one side. And I started boarding up all my windows with it to try and keep the heat out. And now my house looks like a complete conspiracy theory crazy person's house because it's got all foil boards in all the windows. But
Event Horizon.
Point being was I was trying to block the light, and I was noticing that if I simply just try at nighttime to close block out all of the light, your eyeball is so sensitive. I can tell if there's a tiny little bit of light creeping in from under a door somewhere. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Do you know what?
Creepy, but yeah, interesting.
I completely agree, but who cares? Who cares? What's your point?
What is the point to this?
My point is the eye is so sensitive to light. Yes. And I think that Riley's description of if I kept moving away from a car, I would stop seeing the headlights is ridiculous. Because I think the eyeball is so sensitive, you would never stop seeing it unless it got obstructed by something.
That's wrong.
No, that's not true.
Hold on. Do you know what a diffraction limit is? Do you know what a diffraction limit is, Josh?
You've obviously come up with your own terminology for it,
Not
so
at all.
please tell me.
No, not at all. It's the limit that you can resolve information based on the aperture that you view things through. So your eye or a camera lens. Yeah, that aperture dictates how far you can see. So if you quantify it in terms of
definitely sounds like you've made up your own information for it.
We
Oh,
demonstrated
really?
here.
Well, that's fine. I'll explain it anyway. As you back away from something, regardless of what I term it, eventually it will get too small to see. You can't resolve that information. So if you quantify it in terms of pixels, eventually, regardless of what you're looking at, you'll back away from it, it'll become 2 pixels, then you'll back away a bit further, it'll become 1 pixel, then you'll back away a bit further, and it'll become no pixels. Well, that applies to everything. It doesn't matter if it's a car headlight. You can only resolve so much information at a given distance.
So let me ask you a question. Most people believe that you can see a candle light flickering from 30 miles away because it says so on Google. Do you realize, or are you aware that MIT have actually conducted a scientific experiment on this exact topic and
Probably
found
not
out what
scientific.
the actual answer is?
It won't be scientific.
It was because they varied the flame.
So you're telling me that they've established the cause of candle flame? No, they haven't.
It
No,
depends
they
on the
established the
drought.
cause of not
This
being
will
able to
not
see it.
be a cause and effect relationship. I can absolutely guarantee that.
I'm pretty sure you wouldn't find fault with it, Nathan.
If I may insert, it depends on the temperature.
I'm almost certain immediately that they will not give you a cause and effect relationship. And if you're going to tell me that distance causes something, I'll just laugh.
I'm going to tell you that they were able to tell you how far a candle was able to be seen.
That's an observation. I can tell you
Sure.
how far I can see Morgord Lighthouse. I'm not doing science, though.
Well, anyway, they worked it out anyway. I don't really care about the semantics of whether or not it's true or not or whatever. What I care about
I'm
is
not
whether
saying
or
it's
not
hold
you
on.
can see
I'm
30
not saying
miles
it's not
for a
true.
candle.
Hold on. It is perfectly acceptable to just observe something and say, I can observe this candle at 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, not at 6
Sure.
miles. But that's just an observation.
So, observation or whatever aside, MIT have done a study on it, an observation on it, and they established how far the furthest distance a human eye can detect a candle flame. And guess what? It's not 30 miles. And do you know why it's not 30 miles?
Angular resolution limit.
Correct.
Otherwise known as the diffraction limit, as stated earlier.
So 30 miles is 50 kilometers, right? Guess how many kilometers
Sorry.
it was, dude?
Sorry, Anthony, what are you trying to... like, a candle flame, I can literally put an inch from my eye and stare at it all night.
So?
Are you saying that's the same as headlights? Is that what you're comparing that to?
What the
Yeah.
point I'm making is that there is a relationship between how far you can see things compared to how big they are, right?
Well, no, but we're talking about how bright the first
Sorry,
thing you
hold
said to
on.
me
Let's just nip
was
this in the
that
bud.
headlight.
Stop,
You can
stop,
see headlights from
stop.
however far away.
Stop. How do you measure the brightness of a headlight? What would it be measured in?
I think it's in.
That was my
lux,
question. Good
right?
afternoon, gentlemen.
Hi, Event.
Lux,
So-
lumens.
Lumens! What do you think a lumen is?
I believe it is. Isn't it like 1,000 watts per square meter?
No, wrong. Try again. Maybe look it up before you start saying that a candle, which is a measuring tool for a lumen, isn't anything to do with how bright a car headlight is, given that it's measured based on how much comparable candlelight it gives off in a given space. That would be a lumen. Okay?
Nathan, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, really?
A
Well,
candle can
maybe
be
you should
any
go away
brightness.
and look up what a bloody lumen is rather than telling me it doesn't make sense. Go and look up lumen, then tell me that a car headlight measured in lumens has sod all to do with a candle, and I'll have a good laugh at you. Okay?
Do you really think that every single candle has the same
Go
brightness
and look up
can
what
that can be a
lumen means,
scale to be
idiot.
measured on?
Listen, I'm not going to tell you a third time. Just go and look up what lumen means.
And just to get back to you, it was 50 kilometers is 30 miles. That's the claim. Turns out to be just 2.76 kilometers. That's as far as you can see a candle. And for that reason, if I was to flash my headlights at your house in the direction of your house, regardless of the shape of the ball, being a ball or a plane, you wouldn't see it if it gets beyond a certain distance because it's too small. End of. Same for the sun.
If you say
There's
so.
another
I
variable
started
too.
this conversation with the fact that you guys have got like 8 hours of daylight and I've got like 14 hours of daylight down here.
And it's
So
proximity based.
So what?
But
So
there's
what?
another factor to it.
Hold on. So what? What's your claim based on that?
How do you reconcile that on your flat Earth?
Sorry, what do you mean reconcile it? What's your claim?
My claim is that I have 14 hours of sunlight today
So
and that you
Oh my
have
God,
8
dude.
hours of sunlight today.
Okay, other than that being
How do
patently
you
bloody
reconcile
obvious,
that on your
So-
flat Earth?
what does that actually prove? What's your claim? Don't ask me what it doesn't prove on a flat Earth. What are you claiming it proves? Do you think that proves you're on a ball?
100%. It proves that
how?
my location
Yeah,
is
well,
pointing
take us through it
towards
then.
the sun.
Explain it then. How does this prove you're on a ball?
Well, okay, so during the course of the year, you know the Earth is on a 23.5 degree tilt, right?
Oh, so we're already on a bloody ball, are we? So we're already assuming we're on a ball with a tilt, you absolute retard. So if we assume we're on a ball, so let's beg the bloody question, assume we're on a ball, then you'll make your example. No, retard. Let's not beg the question. Let's not assume we're on a ball with an axis, you absolute moron. That's called begging the question. What kind of a stupid idiot are you?
Boom.
Hello?
Did
What
you
kind of an
actually wanna
idiot
know?
are
Did
you?
you want to know, or were you just
Answer
gonna
me,
start shouting?
dickhead. What kind of an idiot says they can prove that they're on a sphere based on what the sunlight does in different geographical locations, and then says in order to prove it, I must first assume I'm on a sodding ball? Are you an idiot?
Oh, no, we're back to you disproving timeanddate.com, aren't we?
Excuse me, how does your light in different locations prove we're on a ball? Answer, let's assume we're on a ball. Idiot.
I'm not in different locations. I'm in one location. I'm in an antipode, in fact.
So we're
And
going to assume we're antipode, are we? Shit for brains? Are you deaf? I've just explained this to you. No, we're not going to assume you're antipodal. That's your assumption. It's called begging the question. How many times do you not watch the show?
I catch it every now and then.
Oh, really? Well, catch this, dickhead. That's called begging the question. We won't be assuming that we're on a sphere to prove we're on a sphere. Okay? So your example proves... Listen, unless we assume we're on a sphere, your example proves dick. Nothing. Absolutely zero. The only way it proves you're on a sphere is if you demand at the start of your example that we assume we're on a sphere. No, religious zealot dickhead. I'm not going to be assuming you're antipodal to me, idiot.
Is that my turn now? So all I asked, Nathan, was I got 14 hours of sunlight today, and you guys got 8 hours of sunlight today. How does that work on your idea of the world?
Who gives a crap? It just works. It just happens. So what do you think it proves? I'm not making any assertions about that. You think it proves a sphere. We've just ripped that apart.
I can explain it if I presuppose a globe.
Oh, well, that's useful. Here, we don't beg the question, you stupid muppet.
Yeah, but you can't explain it.
Oh, really? I'm not trying to explain it. I'm not making any claims based on it.
Yeah, but it happened today, Nathan, for both of us. It happened. It was the real world that happened today.
And
yeah,
I realise. I conceded that. Sorry, what are you trying to get? What are you trying to get? Are you trying to get a concession that happens? You've already had it. Then I asked, what does it prove? And you say, well, what doesn't it prove on a flat Earth? No, I'm not making any claim. You are. That's just been ripped a new asshole. So it doesn't prove anything at all. Okay?
It proves my model works.
Your model is a reification fallacy. Clearly you don't watch the show. We don't live on a model, dickhead.
Well, let me try it this way, Josh. There's one word that you can use to describe and explain your so-called model, and that would be tilt, correct?
Why would you phrase it like that, Anthony? There's not one word that can explain my model, tilt. The globe has a tilt, yes.
Right, but the one word, I'm trying to keep it simple for stupid people. So we'll use the one word as being tilt. We'll do the same on the flat Earth equivalent that's not presupposed. Proximity. End of. That's where it stops. It's equal.
What? You can't just throw words and full stops at it and think that's an explanation.
Oh, really? So you can throw in a presupposition that we're on a sodding ball with an axial tilt? Really? He's just done the exact same thing and you've demanded he can't do that. What an idiot! You are literally cognitively slow. He's literally paralleled your own bloody argument, you retard.
Talk to me about this tilt, Josh.
Really
Talk to me about this.
Do you not get this?
Shouting.
Josh, are you really this stupid? He's literally held up the exact same shitty standard to you and you've said you can't do that. You can't just make up that it's something, but you can make up that it's just a ball. At the beginning of your assertion, can you, idiot? You complete idiot.
What is this
Never
tilt
got
you
to get to the
mentioned,
end of
Josh?
my point. Thank you.
What, that you can presuppose you're on a bloody ball? Yeah, we know we have idiots that beg the question. Wow, we.
What is this tilt you mentioned? How do you know there's a tilt to the Earth? I mean, like, how can you prove this to us?
How can I prove the tilt?
Yeah, you don't need to ask him it back to buy yourself a bit of time. Just prove there's a tilt.
So it's a weird thing to say.
A weird thing to say. I assert there's a tilt. You ask for proof. I think that's strange. Just accept my religious assertion. No, dickhead. Prove it, retard.
You invoke the tilt, so you should kind of provide some evidence for it, right?
Nah, he's just going to tell us that we have to accept it's tilted. Why would we? It's really weird to ask for proof of this sort of stuff, right? Right, Josh? Weird to be asked for proof of it. Just assume it, right, Josh? Idiot.
Hey, Jose, how long was your...
No, his name's not Jose. His name's Nathan. He's the guy tearing you a new asshole in front of a couple of 100 people, Josh. You are a buffoon. You have told us that we're not allowed to just make up stuff, even though you assert we're on a ball with a tilt, with absolutely no proof. And when asked for the proof, you say, that's a strange thing to ask for. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just like to assert religious faith here, Josh. That's what we do. Just assert our faith in it, like you do. No. We like evidence for things. Something you can't provide when asked for tilt evidence.
What I actually just did, Nathan, was provide more evidence. I asked Jose, but you just got in the way and started blah, 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 blurring.
Yeah, that's because I was ripping you a new asshole. Rather than acknowledge that you've presupposed a ball and presupposed tilt, you start talking to Jose. Well, no, that won't fly. Yeah? I'm calling you an idiot based on your presuppositional axial tilt. Are you going to acknowledge that you don't have any evidence for it? To me, the guy ripping you a new one?
Nathan, you and I right now are providing the evidence that I have a smaller day than yours. Oh, sorry, a longer day than yours.
Yeah, you've provided evidence that you have a longer day than me. That's what evidence you have provided. Nothing more. So what are you going to do to use that to prove your bloody ball? Presuppose it. We've already gone through
nothing
this.
Nothing more, Nathan. I just asked Jose for his day length.
So what? His
That's
day
how you
length,
get
your
evidence,
day length
is you
doesn't
ask
prove...
people.
Are
You
you
get
deaf?
evidence from
Are you
people.
stupid? Are you really this dumb?
He's clearly not getting it.
I've clearly explained it 3 times. You saying what day length is in various different geographical locations does not prove we're on a ball unless you do exactly what you did and automatically assume you're on a ball. So you're just going to go around getting more data about bloody light conditions and then assert that we must presuppose we're on a ball again? Is that what you're planning on doing?
That's how you do science. You get...
Oh, science is all about presupposing we're on a ball. No, you stupid moron. That's not science.
Mouth open, everyone.
Idiot.
So do you do science without getting data? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you don't know what science is. Shut up.
What do you mean, shut up? Do you not get data when you do science? Is that's your angle?
Do you do science, Nathan? Do you even science? Nobody's here saying we do science, bro. You saying there's scientific? You saying there's evidence?
Jose,
You saying there's?
Jose, I didn't actually hear your answer.
I'm not sure how
Jose,
long
I didn't
was my
actually hear
day.
your answer.
Okay, my answer is
How
I
long?
don't know. My answer is I don't know. I'm not looking at that. No, I work overnight and my days and nights are all convoluted. I don't know what's daylight, what's nighttime for me. Sorry.
Whereabouts are you in the world? I'll look it up.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
I dropped.
What's the point? We've gone through this already.
Why do you refuse to get information from all of your subscribers, Nathan?
Sorry, you're not answering my question. Why do you want this information?
Because getting information is how people get smarter.
Right. That's lovely. So you're going to get smarter about what someone else's weather's like. Wowee. What does it prove?
No, I'd never said weather. You were the only person that just introduced weather then. All I was talking about was day length.
Right.
Sunlight in the day,
Yeah.
sunlight.
So what
length.
does it prove in regards to the shape of the Earth?
That heaps of us around our different locales get different
around?
days and night
Sorry,
lengths.
stop. What do you mean around? What do you mean exactly?
Like around, man. You know, like, be cool, man. We're around. I'm around. We're around.
Around what?
Oh, God, just go on. Just do it. Just go, presupposing a globe, blah, 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 blah. Just do
So
it.
do
Just
it.
have your little
So
2-minute
do
tirade.
it.
Just go.
So do it. So I can humiliate you again. We've just taken you through it.
Yeah,
for the
just do it. Just do it. Just
now
do
he's
it.
rumpusing me.
I'll get
right,
back to
for
you
the
when you're
audience's
finished.
benefit, this is where I shut this asshole up. No, you're going to shut your mouth and actually listen to me do it for the 4th time. So yes, you have to presume that we're around, man. Around on a ball, man. No, shit for brains. We don't have to assume we're on a ball. You're just a religious zealot. Okay? Let's not have any more asking questions about people's light conditions. It does not prove you're on a ball. Okay, Josh? Has it sunk in? Do we need to do it for a 5th time because you're that slow?
Well, maybe, because what...
No,
what
if you
happens
try and
is
do it again,
gotta
I will
map
kick
it
you
out.
out. This entire show will not be you constantly asking people for their light conditions so you can beg the question. If you do it again, I'll kick you out. I'm sick of it. I've done it 4 times. If you're so stupid that you don't get it, then go away and figure it out on your own. I'm not doing it a 5th time.
Every time, Josh, every time you come, hold on really quick. Josh, every time you come, you bring an argument and you drag it all along the show. Just a little obfuscation tactic. So my question is, do you volunteer to be the sacrificed lamb in behalf of the bowlers, or somebody tells you go and do it?
Jose, I'm a guy that lives on the other side of the world to you guys.
No, you don't. That's a presupposition. Your religious assertion. Stop asserting your religious belief. I'm sick of it.
Look, this is a good connection for me at the moment, so I'm not going to drop, but I'll go on mute. You guys do what you do, but I'll jump in if anyone wants to talk to me.
Yeah, if you've got a religious belief to assert, I'm sure you'll come along with the assertion about your religious belief. Jolly good. Radius Dominus, Gravitas Spiritus Sanctus, go in peace, in R you trust, Josh.
I don't think he actually understands the point about proximity. I don't think I need to explain it, but for some reason he doesn't get it. And I just find that really untenable, to be honest, Josh. I don't get it. Why would you not get that there's an equal and valid opposite explanation for it? Come on, even a 5-year-old gets it. Are you just playing dumb, or is it because you can't understand it?
It's funny how globers, their only proof of the globe is staring at the sky. That's the only proof. Coming staring at the sky and say, oh, look at the sky, look at the sky, look at the sky. No, look at the flat ground that we're looking at.
Exactly.
Sorry, I have to jump in. Riley, can you explain to me then how that works on the flat Earth?
Yeah.
heaps of us get different day lengths.
I did it with one sentence, and I don't understand how you can't get it. It's called proximity. The further away from you it is, you're not going to see it. It's that simple. Do you have a problem with proximity? Do you understand what it is?
I don't think that you addressed completely the way that I thought I brought up a good point. That if you're in a really dark room, your eye can see the tiniest amount of light. Your eyes are amazing.
Oh, what a circle jerking asshole. So we've gone through the diffraction limit. We've explained the angular limitations of stuff at distance in detail. So this circle jerk asshole just starts at the beginning with his original assertion. What an asshole.
I had a...
Yeah, you stutter away, you asshole. We explained to you. You back away, it becomes 2 pixels. You back away a bit further, it becomes 1 pixel. You back away a bit further and it disappears. Yeah? Then we had a little tete-a-tete about whether or not lights from cars were measured in lumens, and you didn't understand because you're dumb. Yeah, we've done it already. Have you got nothing else to offer, Josh? If so, sod off. Don't just come back with your same shit. We've already taken it to pieces. We've ripped it apart, set it on fire, now we're pissing on it, and I'm sick of it.
What's the daylight to pixel rate?
Oh, right, that's your last sodding warning. Get out, you complete arsehole. You've got nothing more to offer. You had 2 crappy little points. They've both been taken to pieces. You're not going to spend the entire show ripping the exact same crap here. I am absolutely sick of it. You've got 2 crap points. Hey, Alan, good to have you. Hey, Chocolate, good to have you.
Yeah, hi Chocolate, hi Event. I barely heard you saying hi to you.
Hello, guys.
No, es plano. Jose. Hi, Alan. Have you had a shouty show today, then?
Yeah, we have assholes that come on that have to have the same thing explained to them 4 times. And then when they get told they're not allowed a 5th time on the same exact point, they go back to the original point that was ripped to pieces. At that point, I'm tired of it. Bye-bye, Josh. You're an asshole. Get some more points. Try and have more than a 2-point repertoire. Got a 2-point repertoire. That's it. 2 points. Doesn't matter if they've been debunked. It doesn't matter if we've ripped them apart. He'll just keep asserting them for the entire show. Ah, that's better. Tranquility without Josh.
And relax, Nathan.
Say again?
And relax.
Indeed.
Anyway, good morning, guys.
And breathe.
Welcome to Alan's deep bath.
Don't want to get in a bath with you, Alan. Sorry.
Why not? I might be as close to a woman you'll ever get.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, do you want to say that again?
What?
What was
what
that,
in
Alan?
the fuck?
What was that? No
No
swearing.
swearing, please. No swearing.
What was that, Alan?
What do you mean?
You
said
found
something
some good
about
prostitutes, Alan?
You referred to yourself as being the closest someone would get to a woman.
Yes, that gentleman.
That's
I
an
may be the
interesting,
closest.
interesting
you get.
statement.
Yeah, no. I'm a father, mate. I've been closer to.
Allegedly.
I'm not even going to get into this, man. That was fun.
Allegedly. Sounds like a logical fallacy.
Raise your hand, those who agree with Alan.
Have you got anything today, Alan, apart from little stories about stuff? Have you got any evidence today, or have you got something you'd like to assert or bring forward?
I've been talking with Tony mostly. We've been discussing cakes.
So no, then.
He likes
Good.
Madeira.
Okay.
Does anybody not like Madeira? No? Didn't think so. Madeira is the cake for kings.
Needs
Last time,
Tony.
last time that you were here, Alan, the conversation went kind of sour. So I think you were going to present some pictures or something like that.
Are you making stuff up?
No, you said you have some photograph and you were going to present it just as a...
Oh, the 12 pictures of Scott Veach. Why did he take 12 pictures, though? Seems excessive.
Why did you take 12 pictures?
Scott Veach in his dad's spacesuit.
To reassert the fallacy.
12 pictures, though.
Yeah.
I think it's probably a time thing. So if you're going to spend the effort and time to get into one of those suits, which do look complicated, I'd imagine you'd want more than one photo. Do you know what I mean? An hour getting into it or something crazy.
I'd just do the one with the helmet under the hand.
But what if it was blurry?
Yeah. Well, they weren't all the same. They were all different.
But then, like, catalogue poses, one hand on one knee pointing at something in the distance, that sort of thing.
Yes.
And in this case catalogue, the spacesuit, available at all good costume shops.
Just £1 million.
Tried and tested in a vacuum chamber near you.
It's no different from the Star Wars Artist Concept Annual, isn't it? It's the same sort of thing. They have designs for costumes and this, and have pictures about it, and photographs, and have details of the ships and stuff, so fans can get really involved. It's exactly the same thing as NASA. They print you pretty books with pretty pictures so you can collect them and, feel good about yourself.
It amazes me that NASA let him take it home, because the BBC costume department would never allow that.
No.
Maybe if you risk your life for king and country, you get to keep a little memento.
Maybe. Why did he get to keep his then?
Touche, my friend.
You'd have to ask.
I already know the answer.
What's the answer?
Well, for faking space. Here's your memento. Closest you'll ever get to being in space, they probably said.
Do you believe we went to the moon, Alan?
Well, Scott said the suit wasn't waterproof.
Okay.
So it wasn't waterproof.
I would imagine that something that can stand up to the rigours of the vacuum of space wouldn't be able to stand a drop of water on it. Of course, that makes perfect sense. It can stand up to a vacuum, but not up to a bit of water.
That's what he said.
Must be true.
Yeah, it's kind of like the costume department again. Well, don't actually.
Do you believe that, Alan? That he said that?
Off.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. I'm just reporting. I'm like a live reporter.
Okay, but don't you want to ask questions yourself about that instead of just regurgitating it to everybody else? Don't you want to sit there and think about that for a bit?
Nope.
No, okay.
Maybe
just dead weight sometimes, aren't you, Alan?
No,
cakes and ice creams and trips to the zoo. That's all you do.
That's good conversations with Tony. More important than worrying about whether Scott's dad's suit was waterproof.
No, I'm more concerned about the medium that the spacesuit was alleged to be used in. So they allege that there's a vacuum of space, Alan, whereas we're all breathing this gas pressure. So given that we have this thing called entropy, I don't really understand how they could travel to that medium. I think that medium's fake. I think it's a physical impossibility that they even go to space, as they claim. So given that space is fake and defies entropy, I'd be asking, how do you get to space given that we have gas pressure and you claim there's no barrier? How's that possible?
It's an interesting question, that, Nathan.
Well, maybe there's a gravity barrier.
How do we get a gradient?
Sorry.
How do you get the
hold on.
first?
Sorry, be a bit more clear. What kind of gradient?
Hang on.
Be a bit more clear. What kind of gradient? Would it be a gas pressure gradient?
Yes, we got a gas pressure gradient, but
that comes after my question then. We'll worry about that once we figure out how we've got a gas pressure.
How have we got a gradient with
Sorry,
a lid on?
sorry. What kind of gradient again? You seem to be missing out the bit that I'm asking about, which yours is an addition to.
I didn't hear you. Sorry, what did you say?
I said, what kind of gradient? Would it be a gas pressure gradient?
Yes.
Well, let's worry about that after we figure out how we first have gas pressure. Because in order to have a gas pressure gradient, you would first have to have gas pressure. And that would be what my question was about. How do we have gas pressure? And you'd need gas pressure to have a gas pressure gradient. So we'll worry about that next when you answer my question about how we have a gas pressure without a container, before you talk all over my devastating point that debunks your medium of space that idiot liars like M. Scott Veach's daddy tell people they've been to. That medium can't exist, Alan, because we have gas pressure. If that medium was real, we wouldn't have gas pressure because of entropy. So let's not worry about the gradient because we definitely have gas pressure. Don't we, Alan?
Gradient inside a container. Does it not equalise?
Sorry, inside a container. Yes, that's right. How do we have gas pressure without that container, Alan?
No, I've asked a question.
What do you mean, no? Yes, Alan, in your religion, you have gas pressure without a container.
No religion.
Oh, really? How do you have... Are you just going to rumpus me? How do you have gas pressure? How do you have gas pressure then?
I'm asking you a question. You've not answered it yet.
I asked how you have gas pressure, then you ask how you have gas pressure gradients. Well, that comes after gas pressure, doesn't it? To have a gas pressure gradient, you'd need a gas pressure. So we'll worry about that after we figure out how we've got the first thing before you talk all over me again. We'll first worry about the gas pressure because that comes before a gradient. So the first things first, gas pressure. How do we have it without a container?
I'm not saying it.
What? We can't? Yeah, because you can't, Alan. You can't have gas pressure without a container.
Okay, then
you said you won't say it. Now you're gonna rumpus me while I say it. You can't have gas pressure without a container, and in your religion, you have a vacuum of space next to a gas pressure, defying entropy. That's unfortunate for your religious belief and any idiot liar who asserts that Daddy went into a medium that defies entropy. So liars like M. Scott Veach and his daddy, who claims he's been to that medium, are in a bit of trouble because their idea of a vacuum of space can't exist next to the pressure we all breathe. It would dissipate into the vacuum, Alan. So, I'll ask my question again. Not no. That won't be my answer. It'll be how we get gas pressure without a container, Alan. How's that possible?
Gravity.
Sorry, have you got scientific evidence of gravity now?
You said you're all about the evidence just a second ago, Alan. So
I'm waiting for my question to be answered. Maybe you could answer it, Event.
Sorry, how do we have gas pressure without a container? Sorry, hold on. We're not getting on to your question. My question hasn't been answered. Everyone stop rumpusing me. My question hasn't been answered, Alan. You've said gravity.
You're just reading a script.
No, I haven't got a script in front of me. Let's put my camera on for this asshole.
Script.
Where's my script? Where's the gas pressure coming from, given that you have an open system, Alan? No script, just me tearing you a new one.
You're just reading a script.
Let's put the camera on again and show my hands while I say, how do we have gas pressure without a container? That's not script, that's me asking a direct question that's being answered with something that follows gas pressure. That would be a gas pressure gradient. Well, before you can have a gas pressure gradient, you first have to establish where you got the gas pressure. That's not script, that's me ripping you a new asshole.
No, it's not. It's just your script from John.
No, it's not a script. It's a fact of life. Entropy. If you're going to have a vacuum and you have a gas pressure, it will disperse into that vacuum. It's called entropy. Are you going to now deny the second law of thermodynamics? Really, Alan?
Nathan, he's just trolling. He's not contributing at all.
Hello, Travis, my good friend. Are you in Ireland yet?
Change of subject.
I actually
ask him the same question, Travis. I'm not interested.
He never does. Where's the evidence, Alan? Let's get back on point. You're all about the evidence. Where is it?
Gravity's a religious assertion. There's no scientific evidence of gravity. Oh, you think it's funny? I don't think this is funny, Alan. I think I'm dealing with religious zealots. People like Jehovah's Witnesses come to our door to tell us about their religious belief in things like gravity. You don't have any scientific...
chat, you horrible man.
Oh, sorry. What do you mean, horrible man? We're asking for your evidence.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear. That's right. You don't have any. You just have a religious assertion about gravity. On top of your religious assertion about the space that we can't have because of entropy.
Okay, Event.
Sorry, my name's Nathan, and I want to know where we get gas pressure without a container. That's my question. So I would like an answer to that question, please. Where do we get gas pressure without a container?
Oh, I've moved on. Your script's boring.
Oh, really? Well, it's only boring because you don't have an answer. So you need to move on. I don't. I'll keep asking it until you go, I don't know. It's just my religious belief, man. They tell us it's possible, and people like M. Scott Veach perpetrate the lie. They keep perpetuating it because he needs to, because it's devastating to his dad's lies. So he needs to push this shit on religious people like you, Alan, who believe him. And when they're asked to back up their lies, so back up Scott Veach's lie.
I've seen the photographs.
What, of a vacuum existing next to a gas pressure? Really?
No, the suit.
Sorry, we're not talking about that. We're talking about gas pressure. Try and keep up. We've already said it about 20 times.
Can I ask a vent?
No, you can answer.
No, because I want to answer. You said you're all about the truth and all about the evidence. Nathan's asking you for the evidence. We want the truth. So present it. Don't ask me a question.
I demand to ask a question.
You're being asked about this spacesuit. You've made a few assertions about it going to space. Now I want to talk about that medium you claim this suit has been to. Space. That's what we're talking about. The bit I experience, Alan, is the gas pressure. I'm breathing it right now. I know that bit's real. I don't know about the space bit, however. Now, when we get the description of space, it's a vacuum. Well, that doesn't work. If we've got gas pressure, it would disperse into that vacuum, Alan. Do you understand that concept? That gas pressure would disperse into a vacuum? Do you understand that?
There's a vacuum. How do rockets work?
Don't ask me a question. Answer my question. Do you understand that gas pressure would disperse into a vacuum? It's a yes or no question.
No, it wouldn't.
So you're saying you can have gas pressure without a container?
Yes.
Show me.
Planet Earth.
Sorry, that's your religious belief, Alan. You're not keeping up. I don't want you to assert your religious belief here. We all know your religious belief. We've detailed it more than 20 times. Don't assert it again. Give us some evidence for your religious assertion.
How does your model work?
Don't ask me a question. Yeah, we realise this is very difficult for you, Alan, because you have a religious belief.
He is not interested in contributing. He's trolling.
Yeah, and I'll keep asking him and pointing out to the audience that he's not answering, that he can't answer because he doesn't have an answer. He only has a religious belief. Like Scott Veach, yeah, your dad is a liar. He's not been to space. Space isn't real. It can't exist. It defies entropy. Scott Veach, if you're listening, Daddy lied to you, and you're just perpetrating his lie. Why are you defending Daddy's honour? Why aren't you asking these questions, M. Scott Veach? Is it because your religion depends on it? Yeah, I'm talking directly to you. And that little boy who was told by his lying father that he was going to space. He wasn't. He just lied to your face.
Nathan, have you heard yourself?
Sorry, how do we have gas pressure without a container, Alan?
You're incredibly spiteful.
Excuse me, how do we have gas pressure without a container given that your religion has a vacuum of space?
Unbelievable. Horrible man.
Excuse me, I have zealots like M. Scott Veach defending Daddy's lies.
And you know their lies because...
Yes, I'll explain why. You can't have gas pressure without a container. To assert such nonsense is religion, not truth, not evidence-based, not proven, asserted by liars. That's what M. Scott Veach's daddy was, a liar.
Unbelievable.
Not unbelievable. The bit that's unbelievable is the bit that you're struggling to answer. How do we have gas pressure without a container? You're going to tell me that I'm unbelievable for asserting that it defies entropy, while you simultaneously tell me that you can have gas pressure in a vacuum because you're a muppet? Tell me again how we have gas pressure without a container. Tell me how it's demonstrated with your religious assertion again, Alan, so I can have a little chuckle while you tell me I'm disgusting and unbelievable for asserting facts of life, laws of nature, entropy. These are real things, Alan. Space is not, just asserted by liars. Come on, how do we have gas pressure without a container, Alan?
What about the air that you're breathing now, Nathan?
Yeah, I know we're breathing air. That's gas pressure. I know that bit's real. What about the bit we don't see?
Where's the pressure coming from?
How does that exist next
Is it
to a
coming from the
vacuum?
column above it?
Sorry, you're going to talk about the gas pressure gradient now, are we? No, we first must explain how we have the gas pressure, given that your religion has no container. People like M. Scott Veitch's lying daddy assert they go into the vacuum of space. But magically... Oh, no, not magically. I've got another religious belief in G. Right, Alan?
You're weird.
Oh, really? No, I just expect evidence for this shit. You don't have any. You think it's weird to ask for evidence for your religious assertions.
What's weird is you keep calling everything a religion, and yet you take all your scripts and advice from...
Excuse me, if you have no evidence, and when I ask for that evidence, you say the Earth in space, that's a religious assertion. Not backed by evidence, not backed by a demonstration of a gas pressure without a container, backed only by you rumpusing me making the point that you don't have evidence. You only have your belief in the very thing you assert. You assert that Earth is a pressurized ball in a vacuum. When I ask you to give evidence of it, you say the Earth in space. So your assertion is the same as your evidence. That's a religious belief. You don't even realise you're doing it because you're stupid. You're a stupid religious zealot who believes liars like M. Scott Veitch. You're just dumb. Dumb and easily tricked. I pity you, Alan. Pity you and all the other pathetic sheep who believe liars, like M. Scott Veitch's daddy. Like M. Scott Veitch himself. He believed a liar, because he doesn't have very good discernment. If he did, he'd be asking the questions I'm asking, like how can we have a gas pressure without a container? He'd be asking those same questions, rather than asserting that space is proven by a bloody costume.
Unbelievable. You're a
Yeah, it is unbelievable. Your religious assertions are unbelievable. We can't believe them because we have entropy, Alan.
You're a horrible person.
Where a horrible person points out that you can't have gas pressure without a container, yeah, that's not being horrible.
Nathan, why does gas lose pressure inside containers?
Sorry, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the inverse of what you're saying.
So you're saying inside a container will lose gas pressure?
Yes.
Oh, really? Do you want to demonstrate that?
No, you should do some research.
Oh, really? I should research your assertion, should I, asshole? Just demonstrate what you've asserted. Prove what you claim. Don't ask me to research your claim. Oh, right, Alan. Unicorn farts power the world. Did you know that?
Fictional.
Sorry, did you know that? You didn't? You need to go away and do some research. Have you not gone away and researched these unicorn farts, you idiot? You need to go and research this, Alan. Oh, my God. Go away and prove my assertion for me. Idiot.
Fictional nonsense.
Right, so you're not going to go away and research my claim and prove it for me? Oh, right. Why would that be, Alan?
Oh, just another straw man from...
Not another straw man. I'm holding up your... I'm doing what... Unbelievable asshole. So, how do we have gas pressure without a container, Alan?
How do you have a gradient within a container?
That's after we establish how we have gas pressure. Sorry, we're not going to have a gas pressure gradient. Okay, Alan, we can't have a gas pressure... Oh, you're going to rumpus me. We can't have a gas pressure gradient without a container. Oh, that shut you up real quick, didn't it? So, how do we have gas pressure, Alan? How's that possible, given that space is a vacuum?
Do you think it's a perfect vacuum?
Sorry, how is it possible we have gas pressure? How am I breathing, given that outer space is a vacuum? Why isn't entropy taking effect, Alan?
I wish you weren't breathing.
That's not an answer to my question.
It's quite a nice image, though.
Sorry, how do we have gas pressure, Alan? You think space is a vacuum. You think M. Scott Veitch's daddy's suit's been there in the vacuum, right? Well, how is that possible given that I'm breathing right now?
Scott.
Sorry, Alan, do you want to repeat that? Evidence of gas pressure, I'm sure. Go on.
Sorry, you're breaking down. You're breaking up.
I'm sure you'll. I said go ahead. Give me your gas pressure evidence. Let's hear it.
Do it, Owen. Do it.
Let's hear it. Evidence of gas pressure without a container.
You're breaking up, Nathan. You're breaking up. Sorry.
No, I can be heard perfectly clearly. That's not going to distract from my question.
Any last words, Alan?
I love you, Owen.
Your space is a religion, Alan. You have no evidence of space. You've just got a religious belief in this stuff. It's pathetic. Is your only comeback to call me a horrible man? When I say you've got a religious belief in this crap, your only comeback is to say I'm being horrible. It's pathetic. You're a weasel. You're a sad religious zealot. You're no better than a Jehovah's Witness. Knocking on our door telling us about your religious faith in this crap.
He's just a
He
stage
keeps coming back like a Jehovah's Witness as well, doesn't he?
He's a stage act. He keeps it to his level and he just never gets into anything really.
Oh well.
As usual, my intelligence has increased greatly because of Alan. So thank you very much, Alan.
Yeah,
Indeed.
full of content as always, Alan. Full of evidence, full of stunning information. Yeah, wonderful.
And with that, I think I'll say first and foremost a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. If you hated the show, I'm sure you know what to do, probably done it already. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it on Facebook and Twitter, or subscribing if you've not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!